Hello, everybody, and welcome to a new episode of Follow Your Passion podcast. Today, I don't have a guest because today I decided to share my own story. My story started years ago. In 1996, I graduated as a Master of Science in Electrical Engineering, and my first job was as a help desk employee. I stayed there a few years, switched company, switched roles, did it several times. And every time I switched roles or switched company, it was to develop myself, to get better at my skills. And I thought the common thread throughout my career was process optimization. I love to do that the most. And in 2014, I thought to myself, you can optimize a process and have all the graphs and figures to validate this optimization. But if the people that are using the process don't change, the process itself won't change. So, how could I change those people as well? And I thought about doing a training on NLP, but I actually didn't know what NLP meant. I knew it was short for neuro linguistic programming and that it had to do with behavioral change, but that was like all the information I had. So I did a little research on the internet and came across an ebook that said a different approach to NLP. Well, I didn't have any approach, so I might as well start there. I read that ebook and it actually stated that NLP was some sort of hypnosis. And that intrigued me a lot because I consider myself to be a responsible person. I'm responsible for my own actions and activities. And hypnosis gave me the feeling that I wouldn't be in control, that there would be a puppet in the hands of the hypnotist. So I didn't like that very much. That's also one of the reasons I will never do drugs and I don't drink any alcohol because waking up in the morning not knowing what I did the evening before, that picture in Erwin is just not compatible. And I had the same presupposition about hypnosis. Yet I'm intelligent enough to know that my view of the world is my interpretation of the world. And if something challenges my beliefs and values, I want to know the other side of the story. So the writer of the ebook, he said, if you like this ebook, you should read my other ebook. And the other ebook was all about hypnosis and hypnotherapy. And all presuppositions that I had were swept off the table. Well, that intrigues me even more. So I decided to follow a webinar from the writer, the author. And during that webinar, they were talking about regression. Simply said that you can go back in the past, solve things without accusing anybody, so that you're not limited by it in the present. And I have two adopted boys. And I truly believe that they are very intelligent, but it's not showing on school. So, and since they're both have a traumatic history because they've lost their contact with the biological parents, I thought, this hypnotherapy stuff that could actually help my boys. And my wife thought the same. So she said, we should actually do the training. If only we could help our boys with that. We first applied my wife for the training. And we applied for a 1-day workshop because if I had to be hypnotized, then it better be my wife. I trust her enough, as you can imagine. And during that workshop, that 1-day workshop, something interesting happened. At the end of the day, we should, in couples, we should give each other a good feeling. And the way to do that was to put the other person in trance, deepen the trance, do a trance test, deepen the trance some more, regain a memory from the past, a good memory, happy memory. We should strengthen the feeling of that memory and get the person out of trance with that feeling. So you give somebody a good feeling based on a memory. And I did it with the lady sitting next to me. And everything went perfect, in trance, deepening the trance, doing the trance test. And then the moment I should deepen the trance some more, she suddenly squeezed her eyes, shook her head and said, "Oh, no, sorry, Erwin. It doesn't feel right. I'm sorry. And she started apologizing to me that I couldn't finish the exercise. That was literally the best thing that could happen to me that day. Because we both knew what we were going to do, right? Give the other person a great feeling based on the memory. And every step until that very moment was taken successfully. She was confirmed to be in trance. Yet, if you feel that's not the right person or not the right moment, or there's something that you don't want to come out, um, you have the ability to get out of trance instantly. So, as a hypnotist, you're in control of the session. So, that experience combined with the feeling that I had some talent for it, gave me at least made the decision to also apply for the training. A month later, I started the training. And during that first training weekend, I had such a powerful experience as a hypnotherapist that I knew I wanted to do this for a living someday, because everything I loved came together. I love helping people, but not by telling them what to do, but advising them, and the decisions should come from the person themselves. My work needs a challenge, because otherwise I get bored or distracted. And since every person is unique, every session is unique, um, everything it keeps challenging me, and that's what I love about it. And I'm still optimizing processes, but very complex ones, those of the internal human being. So back then, I knew I wanted to do this for a living someday. And in my mind, that was in about 5 to 10 years from that moment on. And I'm talking March 2015. But my trainer also said something interesting. He said, if you want to do this seriously, you should start working with people. And after a few sessions with friends and family, I decided I wanted to work with strangers, because if one day I would make my money with it, I should start working with strangers. So I put up a little advertisement on Facebook in a Facebook group, stating that I was training to be an hypnotherapist and I wanted to make some hours. And if somebody had a thing that they wanted to work in a maximum of 3 sessions, they should comment on my post and I would contact them. So after 3 days, I closed that post because I had already 34 volunteers, and I definitely made the hours. In August, we would be certified, both my wife and I, and I wanted to charge money for my sessions. So we went to the Chamber of Commerce, um, actually launched our first business in September 2015, and I started charging money for my sessions. In January 2016, I decided that the company I worked with, I didn't need to apply for another role within the company. And I knew that once I got enough money or income from my practice, or if I had enough confidence that it would be a success, that I would go fully for that. And a year later, February 2017, I was fully self-employed. That same year, I also decided to change my focus from hypnotherapy towards coaching, because I saw a lot of unused potential with my clients. They didn't come to me to unleash that full potential. They just came to me to get rid of an issue. So that's why I changed my focus towards coaching, because people that want to be coached, they want to become the best version of themselves. They want to get everything out of it. And that's what I love doing. I love helping my clients to reach the full potential, to boost the business, and to make them successful, because when they're successful, I'm successful as well. At least I feel successful. I experience accomplished pride. So also that year, 2017, I decided to invest in my first personal coach, my business coach. And I decided to change my focus from the Netherlands, where I originate from, to international, because I already did a lot of sessions online and in English. So why should I limit myself to the Netherlands? That's also when I changed the name of my company into Power Mind Coach, because that's an international sounding name. And my first one wasn't actually. And I used the power of the mind to help my clients. In January 2018, my business coach and I were talking together, and he said, Power Mind Coach, it's It's a nice name, but there are two issues with it. The first issue is a lot of people call themselves coach, so you're not going to make a difference with that. And the second problem, it says a lot about you. You know, you use the power of the mind to help your clients, but the clients don't know what they're getting from it, right? So you should have a name that implies that the clients know what they're getting. And he came up with the name Millionaire Life Strategy. And I actually liked it. You know, he explained it that a lot of people are aspiring for a millionaire life, and strategy implies you have a strategy to get there. And the name was available, so I decided to go with that for my international business. But I still like Power Mind Coach. And if you know the Dutch people, they're more grounded, down to earth. And if you're talking about the millionaire life, there's something, yeah, whatever, right? It's not for me. So that's why I decided to use Power Mind Coach for my Dutch clients in the Dutch market, and Millionaire Life Strategy for the international market. My business coach also said about my coaching program I had that it wasn't clear. You know, I was selling what people needed, and he said you should sell what they want and give what they need. And there's a big difference between that. Let me give you an example. My previous coaching program, I was almost seeing my client every week for a session of 2 hours, and I would help him to get rid of his limiting beliefs, strengthening his empowering beliefs, you know, work on his self-confidence, his self-esteem, and it would make my client the best version of themselves, you know, the version 2.0. Yet, as a client, it's very hard for you to decide whether what's it worth to you, right? You don't know what version 2.0 of yourself can do. But if I would say that you're making $50,000 a year, and I would coach you for half a year, and after that half year, you would be able to make $75,000 a year, then a $10,000 investment would be a good investment, right? You're putting in 10, I get at least 25 in return. For me, in order to enable you to reach that 25,000 additional income, I would still might need working on your limiting beliefs, you know, transforming them into enforcing, empowering beliefs, work on your self-confidence, work on your self-esteem. So the coaching might still be the same, but now it's to support you to achieve the goals you're set for yourself. And I immediately knew what he meant and how that worked. And honestly, I didn't sell for 6 months from that moment on, because I came into this vicious circle that I knew how to sell, but since I never delivered the results, I couldn't sell it. I hope that makes sense, because I'm somebody that if I give my word, I will do everything in my power to enable you to achieve that. Yet, if I would sell to you that you will gain an additional 25K of income, and I've never had a client achieving that, I couldn't sell that. You know, I'm a man of my word, and I don't like to make you fake promises. So I didn't sell anything until after those 6 months. I decided to kick myself in the butt, so to speak. And I said, you know, the way you're doing right now, you're not getting anywhere. Why don't you have conversations with potential clients? Ask them what they want. And if you feel comfortable that you can help them to achieve that, make them an offer from pilot project. And so I did. I had a pilot of 6 months. And after the holiday break, I started working with my first pilot clients. And it actually worked. And that's when my coaching business took off. I also had a hard time to find my own niche. You know, it's the same with when you're doing hypnotherapy training or coaching training or an NLP training or whatever training you're doing. You're getting the tools and skills to help everybody. And when you're just starting out, you actually want to help everybody because you want the money, right? You want to have the income, you want to generate income. And if you are excluding people, you might lose money. So it doesn't feel right. Yet, if you want to help everybody, you give nobody a reason to come to you. Because why should somebody come to you when they can go to a specialist or even an expert in the field that they need help with? So it makes sense to create a niche. And the first niche I created was looking at my install base of clients, and all my clients were expert in their own field, yet their entrepreneurial skills could be developed some more. So I first pitched on transforming experts into entrepreneurs. Yet that was still too broad. I decided to start working with a beautiful lady in the US, and she challenged me on looking on my niche some more. And I decided, if I looked at my install base, I saw two separate client groups. One were coaches and therapists that needed my help, and the other group were technical experts that, needed my help as well. And since I have a technical background, 22 years in the corporate world, I'm a Master of Science in Electrical Engineering. I decided to focus first on the technical entrepreneurs. And I could actually define them very easily. Most of them are introvert, think they can't sell, they don't like to speak in public. They use jargon a lot. When you're talking to them, you're after 2 to 5 minutes, you have no idea what they're talking about because they're so infused about the business, about their own field of expertise. They throw in all those jargon that you have no idea what they're talking about. And a main issue is also that they're selling the tools instead of the end results. For instance, let's take an Apple iPod and two advertisement. One says 4 gigabytes internal memory, and the other one states 200 hours music in your back pocket. Now, what is the clients actually looking for? They're looking for 200 hours of music in the back pocket that they can take everywhere they want to. What do my clients sell? 4 gigabytes internal memory, because that's exactly what they're getting. Now, I help them overcome those beliefs they have about themselves and translating their services and products into what the clients are actually looking for. And yeah, it's wonderful to see them succeed in that. Then in 2021, some more female entrepreneurs entered my path. And I'm seeing the same limiting beliefs. They're also introvert, think they can't sell. Sometimes they also use jargon from their own field of expertise. They're also selling the tools instead of the end results. And what I also see for women, and I hope I'm not offending anybody listening or watching the video, that they keep themselves small compared to their male colleagues. They think they still have like follow 5-6 more trainings in order for them to have enough skills and expertise to help the clients the best they can. So they're limiting themselves. And I don't know if that's conscious or unconscious, but I love helping them to put them in their power, to be fully authentic and excel in their own business. Also in 2021, I created my own coaching program, which is called the Profitable Passion Program, because if I'm looking at Millionaire Life Strategy, my definition of a millionaire life has changed a lot. When it just started back in 2018, I was thinking about the money, become a financial millionaire. But there's also a saying that some people are so poor, all they have is money, right? And if you ask me what a millionaire life is to me, for me, it means being busy with your passion, doing work that energizes you, that at the end of the day, you still have a lot of energy in your system because you love what you're doing. You lose track of time because It's not a drag. You love what you're doing. You're helping people or whatever your passion is. And people are willing to pay for that. And if you have enough money that will help you do what you love to do, for me, that's the definition of a millionaire life. So that's also why my coaching program is called the Profitable Passion Program, because I love to help people follow their passion, to be able to share this with other people and that the other people are willing to pay them for that. And so they're making a great living doing so. In 2022, I also started this podcast, the Follow Your Passion podcast, in which I'm interviewing fellow entrepreneurs, my clients that are following their passion, make a great living doing so. Hopefully to inspire you that you can follow your passion as well, and that you feel supported by other people doing that, and that it's possible, that it's achievable. I had a business coach back in 2017, and he shared with me a quote from Napoleon Hill: whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. And it was Coach Marco Robert that shared it with me. And I instantly loved that quote, because it's exactly what I'm aiming for, right? Whatever you can think of and truly believe in, you will find a way to achieve that. And that has been like my motto ever since. And I'm also an example of somebody that's able to follow his passion, and I always say that people are limiting themselves without realizing it. And I was the perfect example for that, Like I told you at the beginning, hypnosis was out of the question for me. I want to be in control of of myself. Yet, since I've opened my mind about hypnosis and hypnotherapy and experienced that as a hypnotherapy, you're still in control, I decided to go for it. We started doing the hypnotherapy training, if only we could help our boys with that. And now it's one of my biggest talents. It's what separates me from other coaches. And I love doing hypnosis and hypnotherapy. And if, as a matter of fact, I trust my subconscious to do the right thing. And it hasn't disappointed me ever since. So when you're following your passion, you're discovering that there's more inside of you that you gave yourself credit for. I'm, like I told you, I'm a left brainer. I have a technical background. I'm very good at math, at physics, stuff like that. But people that know me, that get to know me right now, if I tell them that I have a technical background, they're a bit surprised, because they didn't expect it from me, because I've changed, actually. I'm an introvert by nature, right? But I love doing this podcast. I'm sitting in front of the video, sharing my story, and I love it because I want to inspire you. I want to inspire the audience, the viewers. I love being on stage, sharing my story, inspiring people. And that's actually, if you ask me what my vision is, my vision is to have an international coaching company with coaches working for me, a fully equipped back office, and me standing on international stages to inspire the audience, to share my story, and to have you start following your passion as well. I also thought I couldn't sell, right? I knew that as an entrepreneur, you needed to have some great sales skills. And it wasn't until I changed my definition of sales that I discovered that I'm actually great at sales. Nowadays I have my own advanced sales masterclass. Last Friday, a lady that followed my advanced sales masterclass shared with the group of entrepreneurs I'm part of that she thought she couldn't sell as well, but she attended my sales training, and she's working for companies part-time, and she's now in the top 3 of best salespersons in the country of that company. And the other male colleagues are asking her how she does it, and she's very happy doing that. So I've also had limiting beliefs about myself, but it wasn't until I changed my mindset that I discovered I could do much more than I gave myself credit for. And I love doing that. I love exploring myself, challenging myself, and I still on the process of achieving my full potential. I've also currently in the process of getting out of my head into my heart, meaning I think a lot. As you can, when you hear this podcast, you also might even hear me thinking about what to say. But it's about following your heart. It's about following your passion, and it's not that I'm not thinking anymore, but I'm following my heart, following my passion, doing what feels right, and my mind will help me to create the best strategies to achieve that. And I love for you to do that as well. Don't think, well, I won't say don't think too much, but follow your heart more and have your mind help you to achieve the goals you are aiming for. So, last thing I wanted to share. Oh, also, because if you look at my vision, that creating my profitable passion program was for me the first step towards achieving that, because now I had a product, a service that I could teach other coaches. I can train other coaches to deliver that program. I now have something that people can choose. They're not choosing to work with me; they're choosing to work with the profitable passion program because that will give them the results they're looking for. Um, so that's already part for me to expand my company. Latest development, starting this year, 2023, I launched my profitable passion inner circle, which is actually, it's not group coaching, not one-on-one coaching. It's a mixture, right? It's a place, it's a community where people become a member. I call them passionados, and you have 24/7 access to this community. You can ask any question you have with regards to mindset, strategies, business, sales, whatever. And I will answer all those questions. I will go live several times, at least once a month, to have a live Q&A, or I will hire an external expert to share his or her expertise with some regards that complementing my skills and my knowledge. And it's a subscription based, you don't need to pay a lot of money to be a part of the community, just a few dollars a month, and you can be coached by me. And the more people that will join the profitable passion inner circle, the more value they will be getting, because I can hire moderators that are complementing my skills and can help the members on even more fields of expertise. I can hire external speakers to share their knowledge and wisdom. And for me, that enables me also to make myself more or less redundant. I now have a community, I have a system in place that will help grow my company, deliver more value to my clients, and enable me to be on international stages sharing my story. So every step I took in the past 8 years um, are actually getting me closer to achieving my vision. And that's what I love to do. And that's what I love my clients to achieve as well. And I want to inspire you as well, that you can follow your passion. You can achieve the goals you set for yourself as long as you believe in yourself and have people around you that will elevate you, that will help you achieve your goals, that support you, that are applauding down the road for you. Uh, Celebrate your milestones that you're setting for yourself. if I need to, or if I want to share a little tip for you, I would like to challenge you a little bit. You know, let's say that you and I would visit the Chinese Wall together, right? I'm not sure if you've ever been there, but let's say that we start in Amsterdam, close by where I live, and we go by foot. And I've looked it up. It's about 8,000 kilometers, right? What would be your first thought? Just give it a second. What was your first thought when I would say, it's 8,000 kilometers and we go by foot? Some people might think you're crazy. Some people think, oh, no way, that's not for me. But if I would say that we would take 4 years to get there, right? We would only work 40 weeks a year and only business days, right? That would mean that we have to achieve 2,000 kilometers a year divided by 200 days, which is 40 times 5. That means that we would be covering 10 kilometers a day, right? If I put it like that, it's easily achievable, right? You can even walk towards the Chinese Wall, visit it, and walk back again in the same 4 years. But a lot of people, when you set such a big goal, they think it's not for them, right? But whatever journey you're starting, it always starts with the first step, no matter how small it is, right? So just take it step by step. If I would ask you, for instance, could you lift a cow on your shoulders, right? You might say, no, that's much too heavy. But if I would ask you if you could lift a newborn calf, right, on your shoulders, you might say, well, yeah, I think that's possible. I could do that, and I could even make a squat, or maybe even 5 squats with this little calf on my shoulders, right? So let's say that you would agree with the farmer that the moment this calf was born, you would go into the meadow and do that every day. Every day, not skipping one day. You go into the meadow, put this calf on your shoulders, and let's do a squat or 3 or 5, right? Now, every day, the calf will get a little heavier, right? But you're growing into that. It's not so much difference than the day before. But after a year, 1.5 year, that calf will become a full-grown cow, right? And if you put it like that, you might be able to lift a cow on your shoulders. Make sense? So, whatever journey you're starting, just start, right? It doesn't matter how small the step is. Making something out of nothing is the biggest step you can make. But when something has started, then making something more out of that little something is much easier. So just start, keep your momentum, and enjoy the journey. So that's about my journey. You can, if you want to know more about me, of course, you can follow this podcast. You can invite me on LinkedIn. It's very easy. It's just linkedin.com/in/Erwin-Wils. Or go to my website, millionairelifestrategy.com, and look at all the services I deliver, and send me a message. So I hope this podcast, this special episode without a guest, but just me, was inspiring to you. I wish you all the best, and let me know what you think about it.